Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to our Take Healthy Back call. My name is Michala Petersen, and I am so excited to be with you tonight because we're going to talk about some scary statistics, but we're going to give you hope in the end. So, this is the new normal today, and this is really what we're here to rage against. These don't have to be your family's statistics, and we'll show you how to do that in a little bit. But this is the current normal in America. 750,000 people die every year of heart disease. 600,000 people die every year of cancer. According to the American Cancer Society, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men will have cancer in his or her lifetime. And I'm sure that all of us on this call tonight have been affected by one of these things in our family or friends for sure. And according to Dr. David Katz, who is the head of preventative medicine at Yale, says that this generation of children are the first that are expected to not outlive their parents, which is pretty scary. And currently, more than 29 million people in the United States have diabetes, and that's only going up year after year after year. So we are really here to bridge gaps, and we do that a few different ways. The first way is the way that I got introduced into this amazing company, and the first way is with a tower garden. So I don't know about you, but I loved to garden. But I hated the 4.5-foot bull snakes that came with a garden at my house. We live on a ranch in the middle of nowhere. And so I wanted one of these things. You can see you can grow 28 different plants indoors or outdoors. It's absolutely amazing. And we're having a blast with it. So that's the first way. This bridges the gap between the produce that has very little nutrition that we get trucked from California or wherever in the state of Nebraska, and the nutrition that you can grow yourself. So that's the first gap that's bridged. The second gap is a product called Juice Plus, and this bridges the gap between how many servings we should eat a day, how many servings of fruits and vegetables, which is 7 to 13, and how many we actually get. And in America, we only usually get 2 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. So this is a great concept to bridge that gap. And so I was in search of a tower garden, and within one conversation with my pharmacist friend, Diane, I went from never having heard of this miraculous 30 fruits and vegetables in a capsule or a soft chew to being a rep for the company. To me, $50 a year for no minimums, no quotas, and no inventories was an absolute no-brainer. I'm a mom of 4 kids. They're 8, 7, 5, and 3 right now. And I wanted this nutrition for my kids. But ironically, I did not think we were sick, so I didn't really expect to see results. And within 4 weeks, our life had completely changed. My 2-year-old that gagged at anything green was asking for salads and eating seconds. Our 4-year-old, excuse me, that struggled with focus was crawling up on our laps and asking us to read her books. And she had always been our most inflamed child on nebulizers as a baby. And what I know now is that the brain cannot process inflammation. So what happens when the brain is inflamed is you get foggy thinking or focus issues or depression or anxiety. And so that's what was going on with her body. And once that inflammation was gone, she was a totally different child. Our 8-month-old needed tubes in her ears, and I canceled that tube consult. And in 2.5 years, we've had a cold here and there, but we have not been to the doctor. We've had 0 sick visits in 2.5 years. And that little girl who was on antibiotics most of her 8 months on Earth has not been on an antibiotic since. So my husband was also in a cannon accident 3 years ago, and the pain and inflammation in his leg was way better in 3 weeks, and I had energy that was through the roof. So we were all impacted in some way, but it wasn't until all of those things happened that I really felt like I needed to dive into the research, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. These are all the systems that are impacted by Juice Plus. As a pharmacist, this meant a lot to me because I am kind of a science geek. And so I read The Birth of Juice Plus, and I messaged a mom of a kiddo with cancer. And her message back to me forever changed my life. She said, "How long have you known about this, and why didn't you tell me sooner?" And before I had got that message from her, I didn't want to share this because I didn't want to be one of those people. Do you all know who those people are? So anyway, the research blew me away. We know that it improves cardiovascular wellness. We know that it supports the immune system. Our family is picture perfect proof of that. We know that it improves gum tissue. We know that it reduces oxidative stress. It reduces inflammation. It protects DNA. It promotes healthier skin and hair. And it reduces insulin resistance and abdominal fat mass. We know that it improves quality of life, and we know that it also improves lung health. So that's awesome. And then the final product that we have to bridge the gap is how many meals we eat a day. So we're actually supposed to eat 6 meals a day. Most Americans, again, eat 2. And so we have this complete shake mix, which is absolutely delicious. You can see all the buzzwords on there. And this is like the gasoline that you put in your car versus the Juice Plus is like the oil that you put in the engine. And I always tease that I drove a 78 LTD for 6 years. And so I'm a prime example that you can drive a car on little or no oil for a while, and then it breaks down, right? Like my LTD that got stranded in the middle of the intersection. So anyway, we don't want to be that person. And so that's why we're here to help bridge these gaps. And so the last thing is, some people really want a program. They want to be told what to eat. They, they want a program. And so we have this amazing thing called a Shred 10. And basically for 10 days, you give your body a rest. So you don't put toxins into your body for 10 days. And so it gives your liver and your kidneys and all of your organs that detox a chance to work through the gunk. And it's amazing at the end of 10 days how you feel. So we'll hear a shred story maybe coming up. So those are the products that we have. And now I am so excited to kick this call over to some amazing ladies. First of all, we have my good friend, Miss Erin Ryan. And Erin has been a mentor to me from basically the beginning. And anyway, she's got an awesome story about her family. So will you bless us with your story, Erin?
Hello. Okay, can you see me first of all?
We can see you and we can hear you.
You can hear me fine?
Yes.
Okay, because I can barely hear you and I'm thinking that I should have been on the computer.
I think if you hit the upper left-hand corner of your phone or iPad, it'll have a little microphone and you can click it to on.
Oh, yay, got it. Thank you, because I was like, I can hardly hear you. Okay, well, thank you. And this is my first, so bear with me. But so I'm just going to share my story with Brody real quick. So let's see. I have 3 boys, Brody 12, Bronson 10, and Barrett 8. And Michala Petersen was kind enough to send a brochure home with or give a brochure to her husband, who gave one to my husband, and it made sense to me right away. So I got on Juice Plus, and then fast forward a couple years, I did not take Juice Plus while I was pregnant with Brody. I did not understand the true power, I guess. And anyway, after Brody was born, all was great. And then about at 10 months old, we noticed something wasn't quite right. He wasn't adapting well around family or other kids. He wanted to be by himself. And and then the final draw was when he was almost a year and we went back home, and he would not let any family be around him. And he was not communicating either at this time. So anyway, I put him in daycare. That was at 2 years old. Put him in daycare because I thought maybe just him being at home with me full time, that was the social problem. Also, we were dealing with 6 to 7 day constipation issues, and we had to put Miralax in his drink every day. We tried everything under the sun. We had to end up doing enemas, like after 6 days of constipation. He had temper tantrums. No kid could come up and talk to him. And so you feel like the bad parent, like it's all the parenting, right? And so we were pretty hard on him. And of course, you don't want to think anything's wrong with your child. So at 2 years old, we put him in daycare and decided, okay, it's just social. And he still wasn't speaking. And we noticed some other odd things, like he would line up his toys every day and he would watch black and white movies at the age of 2, war movies. So we put him in daycare, told him what was going on, and they watched him for about 4 months. And they said, I think you do need to have him screen to see if he's got autism. So we did with 2 different psychologists, and they did put him on the spectrum. So they put him in school with special needs kids, all autistic kids. And after one of the appointments, I was driving home and something hit me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if Juice Plus would make a difference. So I got a hold of Michala Petersen, and she said, I'll get you some information. And she did. And so I got him on Juice Plus right away. And about 3 to 4 months later, all of a sudden he started talking, and his constipation was gone, and he was full sentences. So at this point, he was about close to 3, somewhere in that time frame. Anyway, 2 to 3. It's so long. He's 12 now. I'm starting to forget. So we ended up moving from California to North Carolina. At this point, he was 4 years old, 4.5, and he had improved so much. I felt like, oh my gosh, I think I could put him in mainstream preschool. So I called his teacher in California, and I told her what I was going to do, and she could not believe it. And I said, he's like a completely different kid. Like, he's talking, he's interacting with other kids, he's eating better. We also did like fish oils and all those omegas, which he wouldn't take, but he did take the Juice Plus chewables. We had no problem, thank God. So I put him in mainstream preschool, and ever since, he's never been questioned. He's a social kid. He's smart. So yeah, I'm thankful for Juice Plus every single day. It's changed his life. And after I saw the difference in him and I looked at the research of Juice Plus, I'm like, how can I not share this with other people? So I'm very grateful. So thank you, Michala Petersen.
Thank you, Michala Petersen. We're all here because you said yes. Oh, thank you, Erin. Your story is absolutely amazing. Oh, our next speaker is Miss Amanda Stevens. And Amanda is a young mama and busy. And I am so excited for you to share your story with us. So thank you for giving up your time here.
Awesome. I am so excited to share my story with you. I'm currently hiding in my car from a very rambunctious 19-month-old. So if the audio sounds funny, that's why. So I like to start my story out. I was signing up to be a dental hygienist. I was getting ready to have about $80,000 in student loan debt. I was a brand new mom working full time when I had one of my girlfriends approach me, and I had just had Aubrey at the time. She was still about 3 months old, and she had joined the business. Her son was also very similar in age, and she had said, hey, I have a product that I think will be amazing for you, especially since you're nursing full time. I think that it'll benefit you. It'll benefit your daughter. Maybe it'll help you lose a little bit of your baby weight, which is always a plus after having a kid. And so it totally made sense to me. I actually decided to sign up to be a distributor before I got on product. I figure, hey, I might as well just see what it's all about. And if I have a couple friends that decide that they like it as well, why won't I share it with them? So I got on product, and right away I saw really great results. And something that came pretty surprising to me and my family was I actually had chronic stomach pains for years, and it was pretty debilitating. My husband and I, it was a battle for both of us because constantly going on trips and doing things, it was just something that I had to constantly have on my mind about where was the nearest bathroom going to be, how was I going to be feeling that day, and just trying to make sure that I was going to be okay. And obviously when you're stressed and you already have stomach pains, it just kind of makes it a little bit worse. And I was also going in and out of the doctors regularly, being tested for every type of allergy under the sun. Nothing was coming back. They told me that I had IBS. At the time, I was 26. They also told me that I had anxiety, and tried to give me anti-anxiety medication. They said that I had acid reflux and heartburn. So they also offered me some medication for that, which I declined. And I started taking Juice Plus, and I started noticing that my stomach aches were going away pretty quickly. I think it just shows that when you put nutrition in your body just really does know what to do with it. And to be honest, we were pretty healthy people in the beginning, but I will say that I was lacking in getting more than maybe having an apple a day or a banana, or having like broccoli at dinner. Those are pretty much our staple vegetables just in our home as it is. And now having Juice Plus, I've had no stomach aches in a little over a year that I've been taking the product. My daughter also, same thing. She is now in daycare. I work part-time at work. And the kids, when they're suffering from hand, foot, mouth disease, lots of them had croup, lots of just regular illnesses that kids get. She very seldomly would get a cold, which came to a surprise to us because those kids were always sick. So this was super exciting for us, having our daughter not have any of those problems. Also, my husband at 26 was going to need to have high blood pressure medication, and we cut out red meat from our diet, introduced Juice Plus, and his numbers went from being in the red to the green. And that's really awesome. So our family got behind it, seeing all of the amazing things that we had. And they were like, what are you doing? Because you guys are talking about it all the time. And it's my story about it. And even just now, the community within being on the product, I mean, you develop these amazing relationships with people also, and the great friendships and support that you have, and just being surrounded by like-minded people is pretty awesome.
Oh,
So thank you for
sharing. Absolutely. I was an ulcerative colitis sufferer, so your stomach pains completely spoke to me there, and that's definitely not fun. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Well, that concludes the story part. You've heard 3 amazing stories, and a lot of people are really curious about the company behind such amazing products. So we're just going to talk a little bit about that just for a second. Let me share the screen again. So this is how it kind of works. Everyone comes in and pays their $50, and most people have a couple people that they want to share Juice Plus with. Most people are like me, and I, loved my parents and loved Mark's parents enough to at least share with them, right? And so if you do that, then this is called your HLP. That's your healthy living plan. And then you make $100 bonus for doing that. Then the second step is what we call VF. And it's a $250 bonus. You have 60 days to do that, but that 60 days is a rolling window. And then the third step, and really this is the hallmark of our business plan, just getting to VF and repeating, is called sales coordinator. That's the top commission level in the company. So rather than making $39 when you come in as a rep, you make $76 per box of Juice Plus. So that's kind of a big deal. And even though I didn't really want to share it, I still didn't want to leave that money on the table. So you can see over here that in your first 6 months with Juice Plus, you have the capacity to make $1,800 in just bonuses. And while we know a lot of 6- and 7-figure earners in this company, our real passion is helping moms that want to stay at home with their kids, or helping people that, want to bring in $500 to $750 a month, because that's really not hard to do. And so our whole business model is based around getting Juice Plus in about 12 families, and that equals a residual income of $500 a month. So you may say, this looks kind of confusing. There's a lot of stuff on this slide. How do we do this? So this really lays it out really nice. So you place your own order. You have your mom and your sister that also want to get started with Juice Plus. And so within your first 30 days, you've made over $200. Now, some people do this within, I had a gal do it within a half hour one time, which was awesome. So you can do it as quick or as slow as you want. Everything is more fun with a buddy. So you bring a buddy in. My buddy on this line didn't have a choice. I called her and said, hey, this is what I have stumbled across. It's more fun with a friend. We need to go and change the world, and we have. So she did the same thing. She brought in her mom and her brother. She earned a quick $200. And then between the two of us, we filled up these other 6 houses. So these represent 6 trios then. And that's the fruit, the vegetable, and the berry blend of the Juice Plus. And then I earned a $250 bonus. She quickly did the same thing. And so that's what it's really about, is just filling up these 12 houses for anyone that wants to be a rep. As a you know, as a busy mom of 4, when I stumbled across Juice Plus, I didn't need an additional income. I was a pharmacist. I made great money. I loved my job. I thought I was passionate about it. Now I look at it like if the oil light comes on in your car, you can do one of two things. You can either find and fix the problem, or you can unplug the light. And a lot of times I feel like we're unplugging lights. So I knew that Juice Plus was was my passion. You know, this is what I wanted to wake up and do every day. But I just didn't know how I would get to that goal. And lo and behold, God intervened, and we had a daycare incident that, you know, finalized what we needed to do. And so within 17 months of signing on with Juice Plus, we became a national marketing director team, which is completely amazing as far as the benefits package goes. Comprehensive medical, dental, vision, life insurance, disability insurance. I'm sure you've read all of those already. The most amazing thing to me is family tuition reimbursement. Michelle is taking advantage of this times 2 boys right now, which is incredible. And then there were a few other things that stood out to us as far as Juice Plus goes, and we're going to share those with you right now. So as a pharmacist, I asked 3 questions. I always said, you know, with whatever I was being approached with, I would always say, is it safe in pregnancy? Is it safe in cancer patients? And would you give it to your kids? And I had never found anything that said yes to all 3 of those questions. So when I found out that Juice Plus was studied, you know, at MD Anderson in cancer patients, we have a pregnancy study, and we have a children's health study that's over 1 million kids strong. And so when paired with an adult order, a child can get free Juice Plus for 4 years. I mean, what company does that? It's amazing. I mean, that just shows how philanthropic they are, which is amazing. But so we have 36 published clinical studies. And I don't know if you know much about the study world, but to get a study approved, or to get a drug approved to the market, you only need 2 studies, and they only have to be 65% effective. And those 2 studies have to be specific to high blood pressure patients, if it's a blood pressure drug or whatever. So when I found out that Juice Plus has 36 published studies, that sealed the fate for me. But it's also been around for 23 years, not a single recall, never a lawsuit. It's quality tested 6 times from field to capsule, which is incredible. We have NSF certification, which proves 3 things. It proves that there's nothing on the label that's not contained in the capsule. It proves that there's nothing additional in the capsule that's not on the label. And third and foremost, that it does no harm. So it's really safe to take womb to tomb, which is awesome. We only have 4 products. We outlined those tonight. We carry a nutrition label, not a supplement label. So that's a great thing. I think we can all agree on the authenticity. You've heard our hearts tonight. And then the last thing is the community. We absolutely are one team, one mission. And one place that I know I have been blown away by the community is at conference, which is coming up here in Anaheim, April 20th through the 22nd. And I know Mark and I had never left our kids except to have another baby until we went to conference. And I took a skeptical husband and I brought home a team member. And we have locked arms ever since. And I tell you, since that conference, he brings us more customers than I do. You know, he shares freely, which is awesome. So Erin, I know you were really instrumental in getting me to conference. And really, you know, I was scared to death to get on that plane for the first time, especially leaving 4 little kids at home. So will you tell us a little bit about your take on conference? Hold on, I'm going to unmute you. There you go. Oh. You're good.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah, I think, what did I say to you to get you? I'm just like, oh, you got to go to see the bigger picture, to just see the whole community, to see what the company is about, a company with a heart, and just, yeah, bigger picture and be around like-minded people. And it's just empowering, and it's just like working out or eating healthy. It's something, you know, we have to often be reminded, right? So it's good to go check in and get remotivated and re-inspired and be around like-minded people.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I still can't believe, I think this is, 2 years worth of conferences now that we've been to, and we still don't have a negative experience to talk about. It's just crazy how all these positive, beautiful people and the friends you make are just incredible. So with that, that's it. So if anything that we said tonight convicted you, we cannot wait to partner with you to take healthy back. So I'm going to stop the recording and then we can have any questions.